What if I told you the person who controls time is not a scientist, not a hero, but a lonely old man with trembling hands sitting in a dusty workshop? And what if I told you you've already met him without even realizing it? This is the story of Elias, the clockmaker. Elias was not extraordinary. At least that's what the town believed. He lived in a crooked house on the corner of Rosewood Street, where the windows were always dim and the ticking of clocks never stopped. Dozens, no hundreds of clocks lined his walls. Some tiny, delicate as a heartbeat, others massive, heavy as destiny. The children in town whispered that Elias could hear time itself, but no one ever asked him, because no one wanted to know. What they didn't realize was that every clock Elias built was not just measuring time, it was bending it. Each tick was a choice, each tock a consequence, and Elias was the guardian of every second. It began the night he received a visit. The visitor wasn't a person, not in the way we understand. She was a woman draped in shadows, her voice echoing like chimes in the wind. She placed a broken pocket watch on his desk and whispered, "Fix it, or the world forgets tomorrow." Elias hesitated. His hands shook as he opened the watch, gears clicking like bones. Inside, instead of springs and wheels, he saw moments, falling leaves, laughter of children, a war not yet fought, a kiss that hadn't happened. He realized this was no watch. It was a fragment of the timeline. If he failed to repair it, tomorrow would be erased. From that night, Elias became more than a clockmaker. He became a traveler of hours. Each time he fixed a broken gear, he slipped into a moment that didn't belong to him. He saw wars begin and end. He saw lovers reunited after decades. He saw a child take her first breath, and another take her last. At first, he thought he was helping, guiding time back on its path. But the longer he worked, the more he noticed cracks. A mother who once loved her son now despised him. A man who survived an accident vanished into nothing weeks later. The changes he made were not repairs. They were distortions. And every distortion demanded balance. The first time he met his younger self, Elias almost went mad. It happened while fixing a clock shaped like a spiral. The moment it struck midnight, Elias was thrown into the workshop, his workshop, but decades earlier. And there he was, a boy of 10, staring at him with wide eyes. "Who are you?" the boy whispered. "I'm you," Elias said, though the words tasted like ash. The boy laughed, not believing. But Elias knew the truth. He was not supposed to be here. Meeting his younger self had already rewritten something he couldn't see. And as he returned to his own time, he felt the shift. His hands trembled more, his memory slipped faster, his future shortened. Time was taking its payment. The woman of shadows returned many times, always with another broken watch, another task. Each time, Elias grew older, weaker, emptier. He asked her once, "Who are you to command me?" Her answer was a whisper that chilled his bones. "I am what you become when you lose." And Elias understood. She was not a stranger. She was him. A future version twisted by regret, consumed by failures, bound to wander forever, forcing the past to fix what should never be fixed. He was caught in a loop. A paradox. One night, Elias faced his greatest test. A clock shattered on his desk, spilling not gears but visions. In its fragments, he saw a girl, Lena, about to die in a fire that would consume half the town. He had known Lena since she was a child, always visiting his workshop, asking endless questions about time. His heart burned. Could he let her die? He rebuilt the clock with furious hands, bending every second to save her. When the fire came, Lena lived. The town celebrated her miraculous survival. But days later, another child disappeared, erased, as if she had never existed. Elias realized the truth he had denied for years. Saving one meant losing another. To play with time was to choose who deserved tomorrow. The workshop grew silent. Elias stopped fixing clocks. He let them gather dust, their hands frozen. But the woman of shadows came one last time, her eyes burning like dying stars. "You can stop this," she whispered. "How?" Elias begged. "Break the master clock." In the corner of his workshop stood a colossal clock, taller than him, older than memory. He had never touched it, never dared. Its pendulum swung like the heartbeat of the world. If he broke it, the loop would end. But so would everything else. For hours, Elias stood before the master clock, hammer in hand. His heart warred within him. Destroying it meant losing Lena, losing the town, losing himself. But keeping it meant eternal chains, endless distortions, becoming the shadow that haunted him. At midnight, he raised the hammer. The pendulum swung once more. Tick, tock, and then silence. No one remembers what happened next. Some say time folded, collapsing into itself. Others say Elias was erased, never born, never aging, never existing. But if you walk down Rosewood Street today, you might still hear it, the faint ticking behind the broken windows of a crooked house. And if you listen closely enough, you might hear Elias whisper, "Every tick is a choice, every tock a consequence. What will you do with yours?"